Good morning/afternoon, everyone. Today, we'll be diving into a deeply important and complex topic: mass shootings in the United States. We'll explore the causes behind these tragic events, their far reaching impact on society, and the various responses from policymakers, communities, and experts. This presentation will provide an in depth analysis of specific incidents, the motivations driving them, ongoing policy debates, and potential prevention strategies. I'm looking forward to navigating this critical issue together with you. When we look at the gun control debate, there are two main perspectives to consider. On one side, proponents of stricter gun regulations push for measures like universal background checks, bans on assault weapons, and red flag laws. Their goal is clear: to reduce the frequency of shootings and enhance public safety. On the other side, opponents emphasize individual rights, particularly the constitutional right to bear arms. They also stress that firearms play a crucial role in personal self-defense. Understanding these viewpoints helps us grasp the core concerns and values driving this ongoing discussion. A mass shooting is typically defined as an event where four or more people are shot or killed, not counting the shooter themselves. This distinction helps us understand the scale and severity of these incidents. In 2023 alone, there have been over 600 mass shootings recorded in the United States, according to the Gun Violence Archive, which highlights how pervasive this issue has become. Beyond the immediate tragedy, mass shootings carry substantial social and political impact. They often spark intense debates and lead to calls for changes in policies aimed at preventing violence and regulating firearms. This makes understanding what constitutes a mass shooting crucial, as we consider both the human and societal consequences. Let's take a look at some key moments in the history of mass shootings, starting with the 1927 Bath School bombing, which was the deadliest school massacre of its time, shocking the nation with its scale and brutality. Then, in 1999, the Columbine Massacre occurred, a tragic event that brought widespread national attention to the issue of school shootings and changed how the public and authorities viewed school safety. Moving forward to 2012, the Sandy Hook tragedy further intensified the national debate on gun control, highlighting the urgent need for policy discussions. In 2017, the Las Vegas shooting became the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, with 60 fatalities, a grim milestone that underscored the devastating impact such attacks can have. Since the 2010s, we've also seen both an increase in the frequency of these incidents and heightened public awareness, making it an issue of ongoing concern and urgency. When we look at common characteristics of mass shootings, several patterns emerge. First, the typical perpetrator is usually a male between the ages of 20 and 40. This demographic trend helps us understand who is most often involved. Next, the weapons used are frequently semi-automatic firearms, which allow for rapid firing and contribute to the severity of these incidents. As for locations, mass shootings commonly occur in places like schools, malls, and workplaces, areas where many people gather and are vulnerable. These attacks are often not spontaneous. Instead, they tend to be carefully planned and premeditated, indicating a level of intent and preparation. The motivations behind these attacks can vary, but often include feelings of revenge, ideological extremism, or struggles with mental health. Understanding these motivations is crucial for prevention efforts. Finally, these events usually result in high casualties and escalate quickly, which presents significant challenges for emergency responders trying to control the situation and provide aid. When we look at the motivations behind mass shootings, several key factors come into play. First, revenge is a common driver. Sometimes the perpetrator targets specific individuals, other times society as a whole. Then, there's ideological and political extremism, where deeply held radical beliefs push some to commit these acts. Mental illness can also be a factor, though it's important to understand it's not the sole cause. Another motivation is a desire for notoriety. Some shooters seek fame or infamy through their actions. Social alienation is also significant. Feelings of isolation or rejection can contribute to their mindset. Finally, the easy accessibility of firearms often makes it possible for these tragic events to occur, turning harmful intentions into deadly reality. Understanding these motivations helps us grasp the complexity of the issue. Mass shootings leave a profound psychological impact on survivors and their families, causing deep trauma that can last a lifetime. Beyond individual suffering, entire communities experience grief and disruption, grappling not only with emotional loss, but also with economic challenges. These include medical bills, legal expenses, and the cost of implementing heightened security measures. Speaking of which, the economic burden extends beyond just families to affect society broadly. These tragic events also prompt significant changes in public policy and inspire social movements aimed at preventing future incidents. At the same time, we've seen a notable evolution in security protocols across schools and public spaces, as measures are continuously adapted to enhance safety and protect the public. When it comes to responding to violence, governments and law enforcement have taken several key steps. First, they have increased security measures in public spaces, including holding active shooter drills to better prepare for any potential incidents. There are also firearm restriction laws designed to keep guns out of hands of individuals considered high risk, which is a crucial preventive effort. On top of that, specialized training has been developed for law enforcement officers to improve their tactical responses during critical situations. Despite these efforts, there is still ongoing debate about how effective these policies truly are in reducing violence overall. In addition to these measures, some local communities have started buyback programs, aiming to reduce the number of firearms in circulation proactively. Alongside these, community intervention initiatives are also working to address violence at the grassroots level, focusing on prevention and support rather than just enforcement. Together, these responses reflect a multifaceted approach to addressing a complex issue. When we talk about mental health in relation to mass shootings, it's important to understand that mental illness by itself doesn't predict violent behavior. Most people living with mental health conditions are not violent at all. Unfortunately, stigma around mental illness can make it harder to prevent violence and also creates barriers to effective care. What truly matters is improving access to mental health services and intervening early when someone shows signs of distress. Behavioral threat assessments can be valuable tools, especially when they take into account not just mental health, but also factors like social alienation and personal grievances. Addressing stigma is crucial because it affects both how we prevent these tragedies and how we support individuals in need. Media coverage of mass shootings is extensive, playing a significant role in shaping public opinion and influencing policy discussions. However, this coverage can sometimes have unintended consequences. For example, by focusing heavily on the perpetrators, the media may inadvertently glorify them, giving them the notoriety that can inspire copycat incidents. Social media adds another layer of complexity as information, and unfortunately misinformation, spreads rapidly, making it harder for people to get an accurate picture of events. This has led to increased calls for responsible journalism that minimizes harm while still being transparent. The goal is to find a careful balance between informing the public and avoiding sensationalism, which can erode public trust and even heighten fear. Moreover, the media's portrayal of these events significantly influences societal fear and perceptions of safety. Responsible reporting means not only delivering facts, but also considering the impact stories may have on public anxiety and trust in institutions. Ultimately, balancing transparency with sensitivity is crucial to fostering an informed yet calm public response. When we look at preventing violence, there are several key measures to consider. First, community programs play a vital role by focusing on reducing violence and resolving conflicts before they escalate. Secondly, gun control policies are designed to restrict firearm access to high-risk individuals, which is crucial in minimizing potential harm. Schools also contribute by implementing safety protocols and conducting active shooter drills to prepare students and staff for emergencies. Another important aspect is the use of behavioral assessments to identify individuals who may pose a risk, allowing for timely intervention. Expanding mental health services and supporting social reintegration are also essential components, addressing underlying issues and promoting well-being. When these elements, community programs, gun control, school safety, behavioral assessments, and mental health support, are integrated, they create a comprehensive and effective approach to violence prevention. Let's look at some key case studies of mass shootings that have shaped our understanding of this issue. Starting with the Columbine High School shooting in 1999, this tragedy brought attention to the complex motivations and careful planning that can precede such attacks, as well as the significant impact on the community afterward. Moving on to the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting in 2012, this event had a profound effect on national policy discussions and shifted public sentiment around gun violence prevention. The Las Vegas shooting in 2017 highlighted not only the devastating scale of such violence, but also the immense challenges faced by law enforcement during and after the event. Then, the Parkland shooting in 2018 sparked a wave of student-led activism demanding meaningful reforms to prevent future tragedies. The Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016 exposed the intersection of mass violence with hate crimes, bringing another important context to the conversation. Together, these events reveal the different dimensions of causes behind mass shootings and the varied responses they require, emphasizing that no single approach can address this complex issue. To effectively address the issue of mass shootings, we need comprehensive strategies that bring together gun control, mental health care, and community-based interventions. No single solution will suffice on its own. Improving data collection and research is also crucial, as it provides the evidence needed for smart, informed policymaking. When it comes to media coverage, responsible reporting plays a key role. It's important to maintain transparency, but also avoid sensationalizing these tragedies, which can unintentionally glorify the perpetrators. On the legislative front, priorities should focus on restricting access to firearms that pose the greatest risk, helping to reduce potential harm. Beyond laws and policies, strengthening community resilience and preparedness is essential. Communities that are better prepared can respond more effectively, enhancing overall public safety. Ultimately, an integrative approach that combines all these elements is the most effective path forward in reducing and preventing mass shootings.